And joining me now is Professor in exile, someone who is a former leftist who is now challenging the nonsense in various forms, bringing big ideas to the public in a way that they can understand without getting caught up in the jargon. We have Michael Rectenwald. How are you, sir?
I'm great, David. How are you?
Great. I wanted to have you on because apparently you were just permanently suspended by Twitter. You're in permanent suspension. What did you do wrong?
I called out the Malthusianism of the leftist agenda, the population control agenda, and apparently that did it. I said that a lot of these things that are being pushed are part of a Neo-Malthusian agenda to curb the population and reduce the population, and I think it's very demonstrable that that's the case.
What is Malthusian for folks who've never heard of this word?
Well, Malthusian refers to Thomas Malthus, who was the late 18th century writer who wrote about population and suggested that the human population outstrips the population of the resources on which we rely, the species that we rely on for our survival. He said that, the human population tends to grow in an exponential fashion, whereas the resources we rely on grow in an arithmetic or, rather 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, whereas the others grow. We supposedly grow our population at an exponential rate. So he argued that we would soon run out of resources unless the population was curbed. And so this is really what's afoot with these globalists. They really are trying to reduce the population. That's one of the reasons why we see all these resources being threatened by all these measures that are being taken to curb agricultural production, to deindustrialize the West entirely. We see our resources being cut. We're living on less because we're getting less money for, we're getting less bang for our buck, and so likewise, we can buy less resources. They've been trying to cut our consumption for years, and now they've put it into high gear. They really put this into high gear, this project, to reduce the consumption of the developed world, and to keep the developing world from developing. Mm-hmm. This is what the UN and the WEF and the World Bank and the IMF and the Council of Foreign Relations and the Trilateral Commission and the RIIA, the Chatham House Group, all these groups, these globalists have been up to this for years. The Club of Rome, they've all been arguing this, and now this is being put into high gear as we speak.
And you focused in one of your recent posts on michaelrectenwald.com. You talked about digital identity. You said you call that one of the greatest technological threats to individual liberty conceived. What is the big deal about this, and how could they force us? People feel like, okay, yeah, they do track and trace everything, but if you don't use those products and websites, how is it really a digital identity? What does that mean?
Well, this is not about using websites. This is about everybody having a digital ID connected to their person. And this means that everybody will have a database of their activity, which will be centralized. And so all of your activity from the cradle to the grave, especially, for people that are just born, it'll start at their birth. And it'll start for us as they connect all of our activities together in one digital cache, if you will. And this will be used to track, trace, and surveil us. And it'll be a means for the regime to keep total tabs on people.